literally whatever's happening on your phone is happening on the screen. So whether you're walking in, you need to do a presentation, you do like a PowerPoint presentation, face your audience the entire time, knowing that what's happening on your screen is happening up there. So on a general basis, the HDMI out, the HDMI cloning is a really nice feature. But here to demonstrate the 3D space, what I'm going to do is you can either go to 3D space by going to the dock right there, or on the side is your 3D button. Press that. And it's going to load your 3D interface first of all. Alright, so you can see 3D games, 3D guide, YouTube 3D, 3D gallery, 3D camera, and apps. Now, the 3D guide is actually going to come in really handy for those new users of 3D. And here, I'm going to give you a pair of glasses back in. Alright, so let's go into 3D games first of all. And what I'm going to do here is give you a nice little video trailer for Asphalt. And it looks really nice up here. Alright. So if you have your glasses on, you'll probably be able to see. You might need to get your sweet spot. But it's a lot more interactive. Your car is in one dimension, and the rest of the stuff coming at you is in another one. So you kind of feel more into the game. And you can pair, if I were driving right now, what's nice about this dual core is I can use my phone as a controller to drive this. And because it's dual core, dual channel, dual everything basically, there's not going to be any lag, any perceptible lag between this and that. So basically, we took out the console, and your console is right here. You can take your console wherever you go. So, and how I use this right now, I don't have a 3D TV at my house, but I did stay in a hotel with a 3D TV. It's nice being able to not even have to bring my gaming with me or my laptop. I just hook this thing and go. So that's just one example. Here's another example of what that dual channel will give you in addition to the 3D technology. So if I go into my camera here, I'm going to power up my camera, and what you'll notice, there you go, this is real time. So you try this with a single core device and it won't do that. So this is real time, it records at 720p. Now I'm going to switch to 3D mode by pressing over here, and on the phone you can see I just swipe over here, put it in 3D. If you're on a 3D TV, real time, dual core, dual channel, dual memory, there's not going to be any lag, and it's going to power you up. So this is full 3D, so you can look at yourself recording yourself in 3D. There you go. See, it's 3D real time. So what's nice is that it's also recording in 2D. So if you only had a 2D content or a 2D TV, all you'll do is, if this is only a 2D TV, is take this, swipe it over to 3D when you're playing it back, and you'll switch it to 2D. So at least you get that 2D picture as well. So, yeah. And so a common theme here is that we're not forcing 3D on you. It's a very, very good value-added thing, but as you can see, this is in 2D right now, and it's about as high tier a 2D device as you can get because of the fact that it needs the specs it has to do 3D. It just makes it one of the most powerful 2D phones on the planet as well. So 3D enthusiasts will love it. Those who aren't quite ready for 3D will end up loving it as they get there. One of the criticisms is valid, which is there isn't a lot of 3D content. That's why we gave you a bunch built in with the games and stuff. That's why we gave you 2 cameras to record your own 3D content. And because we're partnering with YouTube 3D, there's just no faster way to get user-generated content than to partner with YouTube, quite frankly. So that's going to be huge. And again, people, how they use their phones, take the slice of life stuff, now it's going to be in 3D. I can tell you right now, my godson soccer, I don't have it on this one, so it's a demo device. Sports in 3D are awesome. Even just, I'm going to do one later today where I'm just walking the streets of New York and having the buildings sort of glide by in 3D. I took a 3D picture of the Empire State Building from underneath. It looks amazing. So it's one of those things, you don't know what looks good in 3D until you get out there and try it. But there you go. You can try it. So, any questions for you?
No.
Pretty easy hands-on. I'll show you the user interface really quickly here. And what I like about this HDMI cloning stuff when it works properly is that you can present right up to TV. Now I'm just going to disconnect it for a second. But the user interface is very simple, and we did that on purpose. I'll save that processing power for the stuff we really want the phone to do. All those games, all the mirroring, and all that stuff. So you'll see little tweaks to standard stock UI that just make little things it does not quite so nicely better. So for instance, navigating through your menus. It's much easier to do it on here because you not only can kind of part them out in the categories, stock Android's A to Z, and sometimes you have to scroll down all the way to YouTube. Here you just pinch, and you can make your own categories. You can have 10, 12 categories, and they create little drawers. It makes it easier for you. Now when you're in there, you can manage your categories, you can move them up and down however you want, and then, for for instance, how I use it, I always create an extras category where I put stuff, some of that bloatware I don't think I'll ever use, I throw it into a drawer on the bottom, because if I can't delete it, at least I can try to ignore it. So this is a nice little feature. And going into other ways you can use that pinch and zoom feature, if you have a lot of contacts, instead of scrolling out through them, or on stock Android, you have to excuse this demo device here. On stock Android, you have those little tiny letters on the side you kind of have to look for to see where you are. On this will only give me A, but if I A to Z, simply pinch. So that pinch gesture can be used other places as well. Another one of my favorite places to use it, and it's not going to show up on this, is if, let's say you have a ton of email, 5 weeks of email, and your boss says, hey, I need that email from 3 weeks ago that you sent me, I don't know where it was, can you resend it to me? Instead of scrolling through your entire email list, you just pinch and it'll drop it down to the last 3 days, last 7 days, last 2 weeks, last 3 weeks, etc. So that pinch gesture also can be used on the home screen as well. And I just pressed another button accidentally at the same time. But so you want to get used to that pinch gesture. But basically, you'll see we also just added some very functional, very light widgets that you can add or remove. But what's nice about these, they don't take up a lot of processing power. And what we end up with is a phone that just makes Android better without needlessly reducing performance via more processing consumption or more RAM consumption and things like that. I want to say that stuff for what this phone's known for: gaming, HDMI cloning, and the like. So that's short my spiel.
GPS?
Yes, all the features are all built in. So this is, I mean, it's a very high tier 2D device just because the specs needed to run 3D. So everything that you would find on any other dual core device is going to be on here. Most of the stock features and all that. So I'll bump up the brightness for you a little so you can get a better idea.
LG pen? Yeah.
Please do.
Okay, as Wi-Fi.
LG.
Yes, Wi-Fi.
Okay, great. A hotspot?
Yes, it's got hotspots.